The American economy is probably in reasonable shape. We're going to grow at about 2.5% this year. Now, after the recession ended, we didn't grow as much as we should have. And to really rebound from a recession as deep as one as we had, we probably should have grown at 4 to 5%. That just didn't happen. And so as a result of this recession, which was much deeper than anybody really thought, we are still coming out of it. Now, all of you, when you went to college, learned that a recession is 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth. But that is a outdated definition in my view. It should be when the unemployment rate gets back to where it was before the recession. And we still don't have the unemployment rate back there. And as a result, while we're not technically in a recession, we still haven't completely recovered. However, the United States is in better shape than other developed markets. The developed markets being Japan and Western Europe principally. Europe is in a recession a bit still and will be for another year or so, or at least negative growth for quite a while. And Japan is in a very low growth to no growth situation. So we're in reasonable shape. But the things that make me feel really good about the U.S. economy, despite our big problems, the big problems being the $16 trillion of debt, which we're not likely to solve anytime soon, unless I'm brought back to bring inflation under, higher again, and then we can inflate our way out of it, but there's been no demand for me to come back to do that. So we have that debt, we have growing income disparity, which is greater than it has ever been in our country, and we also have a high unemployment rate, and we also have not a real unemployment rate of 7.5%, it's really about 13.5% because the real marginally attached rate is about 13.5%. And many people who lost their jobs, who were in their 50s in the Great Recession, are not going back to work. So we reduced the number of people in the workforce. So we have to solve all those problems. Despite all those problems, we have some really good things going for us. One, we have the only reserve currency in the world, so people need to have dollars, and there's not going to be another reserve currency for a while. Second, we have an energy revolution going on that is really transforming our economy and keeping energy prices relatively low compared to where it is around the rest of the world, and will enable us to be a net exporter at some point of energy. Third, housing prices are coming back and home building is beginning again, and that is usually a good sign we're getting out of a recession. And fourth, the R&D phenomenon in this country, the innovation and all the kinds of things we do to reinvent ourselves is going forward, I think, at full steam ahead, and we are the envy of the world in that area. So I think we have some very good signs, but it is unfortunate, I think, that most of us probably will see our children not have an economy or a optimism as much about their future as we had about our future when we were their age. Because we have to recognize the United States is not going to be as dominant economy as it was when we were growing up. When we were growing up, the United States was almost half the world's GDP. Now we're about 21 or 22% and probably heading down. So the emerging markets have emerged. They will be a bigger factor going forward than they have been in our lifetime. And we have to recognize that we'll be an important economic power, but not quite as dominant as we once were.